Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Uh, we're so new at this. I hope we did this right. If we're live, somebody please let us know that we're live so that Deb and I aren't just talking to ourselves. How are we doing here, people?
You know what? I just got a notification, so we are live.
Terrific. Okay,
How
so,
are you? It's so good to see you.
oh my God, it's so beautiful to see you, my dear friend.
Thank you. Thank you.
And how are you doing? Oh,
I'm
thanks.
okay. I'm getting along today. I'm trying to um, get my sciatica to behave.
Sciatica. It sounds like a Jewish boyfriend.
It does, doesn't it?
So I am so glad we're doing this. But before we start, why don't we just say hello to a few people? Um, so I see, who do we see here? We see Ange, Roots, and Waves.
Yes.
Miss Jane, my dear soul sister, Jane
Yes.
the Seeker.
Jane the Seeker.
Deb, can you help me? Because you know
Yes,
my
I can.
vision isn't so good.
Jane the Seeker was here first. Hershey the Shadow Reader is here. Ange, Roots and Waves. Beth, Spazia Rising. Ivana, Intuitive. And Book Bewitched.
Oh, I haven't seen Book Bewitched in so long.
Medita, 50. Um, Ramon has said, what? Ms. Carol D is live.
Okay, Ramon, if you're watching, this is
He
for you today.
um, Heather Indigo Jaguar. Oh, and that is a gorgeous color on you. I love that color on you.
Thank you.
Madame Maru's House of Cards.
Always. I love Maruta.
Ramon said, love those colors on you.
Thank you, Ramon.
Let's see if I missed anyone.
I did we you saw Heather, right? I think I
I
see
did see
Heather.
Heather. Hi, Heather.
Great. So I guess we'll say
Hmm.
hi to people later, more as more people come in.
More people
Hi,
come in, and I may have said hi to Heather in my head and not said it out loud. That happens sometimes.
I do that all
I'm
the time.
sorry if I did that, Heather.
Yes. I pay my bills in my head and I forget to actually pay them. So
So
I totally get it. I totally understand.
that there's a little more consequence to that than giving somebody in chat.
So we're doing a lot of different things today. First
We
of all, um, this is my celebration of Irish heritage and spring. Do you like it?
I love it.
And I'm first time wearing it. I couldn't wait to wear it. And then look at this, Deb. As you know, my husband is also my producer, makeup artist.
Yes.
And in chat, if you like it, give me a happy face, smile, whatever. But I'm wearing contacts, which I haven't done in 2 years. And he did
Sure
my,
you can see.
I know, he did my eyes, and I'm wearing eyelashes.
Yes. Ms. Taro D doesn't ordinarily wear eyelashes with the glasses.
Well, you know what happened was when I got with my cancer treatment, my eyes got infected and I couldn't wear eyeshadow anymore. So I had to wear my glasses with other glasses.
I understand that.
I know, but I'm feeling better now. So now I can play a little.
Well, yes, and you are gorgeous today. Care Bear Bard of Cards has joined us.
Oh, wonderful. She put the babies in the basement and joined the fun. Hi, Karen, dear. Oh, what did Ramon say? I can't see that. Oh, I get it, Miss Tara D. You actually look like the star.
You need a book in one hand and a torch in the other.
Okay, Ramon. That was a good one.
It was a good one.
Do you like my new fan, Deb? Can you
I
see it?
do. That is gorgeous, and
Isn't
that's
it
and
gorgeous?
I love that picture of you.
Thank you. Yes, I got it. Says Miss Tara D. Blessings and Light.
Yes,
Um, because I had the other one, the tarot one, but then everybody started to have it, and I was like, no,
yes,
they were like,
everyone has one of
I have
those
to be
except
different.
me. I don't have one, but
Well, I can send one to you. I'm going to send one to you. After this, I'll double check your address because I know you moved, and I'll tell Amazon to send it to you so you can.
okay.
But yeah, I wanted to be different than everyone else, you know. Um,
Book Bewitched would like to know where you found your headdress.
oh, so this is actually a Nigerian headpiece. Um, and here in the Bronx, we have so many Africans, so they sell things all over the place. But I actually found this one on Amazon, I think it was. But you can also find these beautiful headgear in Timu, very cheap. So yeah, so take a look, shop around, put in Nigerian head wear, and you'll find all types.
Um, Wild Raven Tarot has joined us.
Hi, Raven Tarot. Oh, that. Wait a minute, that's
Thank you,
Bobby.
Bewitched. That
Bobby, yes, Bobby has changed his name because the police were after him.
oh, well,
Yes,
I can imagine that's a good reason to change your name.
the police and the bill collectors. So he changed his name.
Amazon is easier than getting to the Bronx. Yes, and thank you, Book Bewitched.
Oh God.
Nancy, a Crone's Intuition, is with us.
Oh my God. Do you know how much I love Nancy? She's another soul sister. She's a beautiful person, you know, and she named her parrot Agathor. Oh my God. After the maid in, oh God.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I can see it playing in my head.
Oh,
The birdcage.
the birdcage. So, which leads me to our conversation today. So, you and I were talking last week. For viewers who don't know, both Deb and I have been diagnosed with cancer. And we are survivor buddies.
We
So
are.
every week we try to catch up and talk and share because we can kind of identify with what we're going through.
Yes, we are doing the warrior girl thing.
Yes. So last week we were like, hey, we should just do a live and chit chat and talk about our journeys. And if there's anyone who suffers from, who's had cancer or had someone in their family who's a cancer survivor, today we're talking really about the big C.
Hmm.
And we're not, for those of you who have dirty minds, no, we are not talking about the big cock. We're talking about the big cancer, okay?
Yes.
Okay, Bobby, I'm talking to you directly.
We will talk about that on another show.
Yes, we're going to talk about the big cock on Bobby's channel because he's just filthy, or should I say, New Raven? But yes. So before we start, if anyone is a cancer survivor slash warrior, put in big letters, or if you want to use a big emojis, put it in the chat so that we know who's walking this journey with us.
And we know, and feel free later on if you're watching this on playback to do that as well. Put that in the comments and let us know because we know we are not alone. We know that there are others going through the journey right now. There are others who have fought and been successful. And we are here to hear your story as well.
Mm-hmm. Yes, yes. It's beautiful that we found our tribe here in the Tara community. And we know that in this beautiful tribe of ours, there's different people who have gone through different things. And sometimes you need to have a little bit of a separate support group for those who've gone through what you've gone through. Um, so that's kind of also why we're doing this together today.
That's true. And we both have outside communities that we rely on for support, for emotional support mostly. But we also have each other because sometimes you just need to blow off steam or
Yes.
say things that, and even in group, sometimes it's hard to just say whatever you mean.
Mhm. Yeah. So I'm looking at the chat and I see Wow Raven Terra. By the way, I love, love, love your new name, Bobby. It's a great name. Um, and Bobby, that this is very brave, and I'm glad you're feeling safe to put this out there. He says, not cancer, but HIV. Yes, destigmatize this. Okay, it's
Yeah.
HIV is one. I remember when cancer, nobody would talk about it.
Yes, and that's what they called it, was the big C. They would say it in whispers.
Whispers. I
Yeah,
remember that. And I remember HIV. It's until this day in some places it's very stigmatized.
it
So
is still.
I'm very proud of you, Bobby, for just helping to stigmatize a germ, a virus that's hurting millions of people globally.
Yes,
Good for you. Good for you. Uh,
yes,
and then Maruta wrote, "My aunt and uncle married, both passed of cancer. I'm so sorry, Maruta. My aunt died. Oop, the chat jumped and it took a minute. My aunt died very young, and my uncle in his 80s. Well, bless his soul. He lived a long time with this disease."
and then Heather, all my aunts on my mom's side, and a handful of few on my dad's have all fought and survived or passed with cancer. True warriors. Yes.
Yes. Look what Nancy wrote. Oh my.
Nancy has shaved her head 4 times in solidarity with people that were friends who needed to. Chemo is. I've heard people say it's evil. It is.
It is.
It's horrible, and it makes you very sick because it takes poison,
Hmm.
the cancer, and you're poisoning your body and making yourself sick. So just the act of doing that, Nancy, I know that comforted the people that you did it in support of, that your friends needed that support. And I appreciate you for doing that. I really appreciate you.
Madame Maruta said she had brain cancer. Not her, but her aunt, if I remember what she wrote. He got skin cancer. It was very pretty quick for both of them. So let me tell you, people dismiss skin cancer. They're like, oh, it's just a little thing I could get over. I knew a lovely, lovely young lady. She was friends of the family. Gorgeous, gorgeous, beautiful. And she had skin cancer all up on the side. But every time she went to Social Security, they looked at her and they denied her. So finally, I told her one day, I said, you go. And I said, when you get there, lift up your shirt and show them exactly what's underneath it. And she did. And when they saw how bad her skin was from the cancer growing, they gave it to her. The poor thing, she died 2 years later, and she was only 28 years old.
Yeah, it's insidious.
Yeah.
My own diagnosis is that I'm not curable.
Deb, what is your diagnosis?
My diagnosis is I have breast cancer. I have HER2 positive,
Mm.
and it's metastasized to my spine and my brain. And it's the not curable kind. But every day that I live is a day that they might have a cure. So I don't dwell on that. I don't think about it. They told me I might have some years, so I'm going to take that might be 20 years. But the average is not. The average is 4 years, and I am a year into my diagnosis. So I just don't think about it a lot. I do get up and I do what I need to do, and I have I still have all of my tumors. I'm on chemo. I'm in active treatment, and I'm the recent diagnosis with the brain cancer has caused me to have to go back on chemo because I had finished. I was not going to do chemo anymore, and then we found by accident, because I was having memory problems. We found the brain tumors. So the chemo that I'm taking now is working, and it's my tumors are shrinking, and it's not working just for my brain. It's working on all of my tumors. Really, except my spine. The spine thing is more, it's not as life threatening, but it's very painful. So that's why I'm on so much medication. It's because of that, because of the cancer in the bone is very painful. And that's my story. Just they told me a year ago in December that I got my diagnosis, and I argued with them. I wasn't going to have it. No, I wasn't. I was sick with something else. It wasn't that. And then they knocked me out accidentally for 2 weeks, which was fine with me. And when I woke up, I was at myself, and I knew what was going on, and I knew what was happening, and I by then had reconciled it with myself while I was out playing in the cosmos, and was ready to fight. And so here I am fighting.
Jesus. And I know we have a lot of women in the chat, including myself. And, one of the things that Deb and I really push on is prevention.
Yes.
And one of the best ways for women to not prevent, but to be aware of possible breast cancer is by doing self-examinations.
Yes.
Isn't that correct?
Yes.
So I'm going to stand up. So I think you rub it this way. Is that how we do it?
Yeah. And like that. Just
like this.
And the main thing is I knew I had a problem, but I didn't have insurance. And so I didn't go to the doctor. So now I don't know if it ever would have been curable because of the type that I have, but we might have been able to slow the metastases. But
yes,
being forewarned is forearmed.
Absolutely.
And if you can possibly remember to do those self-examinations, it would be very helpful. And if you can catch it, because I'm in stage 4, and I have been in stage 4 since my diagnosis. If you can catch it earlier, there is more hope than what they gave me. But I didn't pay attention to them. So
well,
you have to make your own way.
You do.
And those who I have known people that have what I have who were not up to the fight, and they were gone in a very short amount of time. So I respect that because it's not easy.
No.
But whatever the decision is, if you ever have to face this, whatever your decision is, it's your decision. So if you want to get up and fight, then do that. It's worth all of the sickness and not feeling good, to have the time to do the things you need to do and take care of the things you need to take care of.
Yes, totally agree. I totally agree. Yeah. So my cancer is slightly different. Well,
Yes.
greatly different. Uh, I have a cancer. The name is multiple myeloma, and it's a blood cancer.
Yes.
So, and it was weird because I had severe back pains, but I attributed it to a fall. And I said, oh, I fell a year ago. My back is out of whack. And then I started having hearing loss. And we had just come back from a trip. And I said, oh, it's just water in the ear. It'll resolve itself, da, 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 da. And soon after, I had gotten new glasses. And I started having vertigo, and I went back to my eye doctor and I said, these glasses are too strong. They're making me dizzy. And she changed the prescription a little bit, and it didn't work. I went to the ENT. He said, your hearing is fine. Maybe you have TMJ, which is what you like a nerve. Yes.
Yes.
I said, that makes sense because I had it on this side, and I did years ago have problems with my hearing.
Yeah.
But then the vertigo got so bad, I couldn't walk. And one Sunday, I couldn't get off the sofa. And my husband was like, that's enough. We're going to the hospital. And he took me to the emergency room. And it was horrible, horrible. If anybody who lives in an urban city, they know when you go to the emergency room, they put bed against bed. You have no privacy, nothing. They talk about you and everybody else, so you know what everybody else's business is, and you're there for hours and hours and hours and hours. We got there about 11:30 in the morning. It was around midnight when they came back to me and they said, oh, has anyone spoken to you yet? And I said, no. But I know something's wrong because you did 2 CAT scans, and you never do 2 CAT scans in the emergency room unless something's really wrong.
Right.
So they moved my gurney to a private area. And they said, well, Mr. Kotza, that's my last name, my government name. Don't Google that name, but they said, you have lesions on your skull and on your back. And I got so scared because the only thing I knew about lesions was HIV and AIDS. And I was like, I have AIDS? How am I going to explain this to my husband of 26 years? Like in my mind, I was like, does it last this long? Like, I didn't know. I was so scared because I didn't want I was more worried that my husband would be mad at me and accuse me of cheating on him than, than of being sick.
And about your own health.
Yes. And
It is irrational when we hear those kinds of things about ourselves. We don't, because we're not educated about it.
No, and our minds just spin out of control. And they said, no, you have cancer. And I was like, oh, okay. And time froze.
Mm-hmm.
And I just couldn't think. And I was in complete shock.
Yes.
And I was like, okay, can I go home now? And they're like, no, we have to admit you. We have to do a biopsy, which meant they were going to stick a big needle in my spine.
Yeah. Fun stuff.
Fun stuff.
And they're going to take little pieces of your bone.
Yes.
and go and do what they do with them.
Yes. So it took a while for them to find a bed, and eventually they admitted me. Uh, and then this young resident comes in, very laissez faire. He's like, okay, tomorrow we're going to do the biopsy. It's a very simple procedure. We could do it right here in your room. We're just going to put the needle in your spine. And I was like, no, you are not. I was like, I want to be completely sedated. And I don't want it done in this room. God forbid you sleep. How do you do a biopsy in the room?
Right.
I was like, no. He's like, well, then we're going to have to transfer you to the main hospital. And I said, well, then you're going to have to transfer me to the main hospital. He was just a little too happy-go-lucky and peppy for me. I didn't trust him.
I had one because I was at a teaching hospital, and my friend Angela was with me. Because I was not, she basically forced me to go to the hospital. I was in so much pain that I was just not with it. And someone came in, and they had started medicating me and already told me what the diagnosis was. And someone came in talking about that he was going to do a double mastectomy on me, and this stuff. And I don't know if you know Angela, but well, I know you know Angela, but she is a feisty one. And she got up in his face and told him, how can you talk to her like that? You don't even know her. You don't know anything about her. I didn't remember this. I heard all of this secondhand because I was already dancing in the cosmos.
The drugs they gave us were so great, wasn't it?
They gave me enough drugs that I wasn't in pain, and then I was gone because I was just so exhausted from the pain. But you can't. People want to bounce in like that. That's the wrong bedside manner.
It is.
Especially when you just got your diagnosis.
Exactly. And Roots, and you are so right. Bedside manner is a skill many do not have, sadly.
That is sad. I wanted to point out that Wild Raven Tarot asked about cannabis. I live in Texas, so we are not allowed to even discuss it with our doctor. I mean, I could order something from another state and have it delivered, but you can't really get real cannabis in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not part of my treatment plan. I wish it was.
And my palliative care doctor, even though it's legal and a lot of cancer patients here in the Bronx use it, she was just very dismissive of it. I didn't like her attitude about it. She was willing to put me on morphine. Can you believe that?
Oh, I believe it because I'm on it.
But not cannabis. And I had a lot of, I got it.
Makes no sense. It makes no sense.
Yeah. But my concern with, I was afraid to smoke it because I haven't smoked in over 7 or 8 years.
Yeah, my lungs wouldn't take it.
I've been a cigarette, smoked cigarette, and I was finally able to give it up. And Bobby, I was afraid that if I would smoke a joint, I would want to smoke a cigarette. But recently, one of my girlfriends from Cancer Group, she gets free gummies. So she gave me a package of gummies, and when I don't have to work the next day, I'll try to take one at night because my neuropathy is bad. My back hurts.
Yeah.
My own, part of multiple myeloma is you have a lot of bone pain. Lot of bone pain.
Yeah, so we have that in common. We both have bone pain and neuropathy. I have really bad neuropathy from the chemo.
Yes, and it really helps. But let me just really quick. So they did find a tumor in my skull.
Yes.
So they gave me steroids, and once they shrank the tumor, I could hear again, and I got rid of the vertigo. Then they started chemo and infusion injections into my stomach. 10 rounds of radiation on my skull, 10 rounds of radiation on my spine. Then the injections and the chemo wasn't working anymore, so they did stem cell transplants.
Mm-hmm.
Which I was very excited about because I was hoping my hair would come back and I would inherit some kind of like mutant special power, you know. It's like, ooh, I can be an X-woman,
Now that's one difference we've had with our chemo treatments is my hair did come back, or it is growing back, and yours did not. So you
No,
just don't know what's going to happen. Everybody is different.
yes. And one day I yelled at my husband and I said, "Can you please stop shaving your hair in the bathroom?" Because he has a lot of hair, so in between haircuts, he just trims the sides with the buzzer. And he said, "Look at me. Does it look like I trim my hair?" And he didn't. And he said, "That's you. All the hair from my body had fallen off, and it was all over the house, you know, which was kind of cute because I didn't have to wax and shave anymore, And I was kind of hoping, I said, okay, that's the one thing I hope doesn't come back is the hair on my body, because it's so hard to shave when I get ready to be Miss Tara D. So,
So Miss Tarot D did benefit in some way from that, from the
yes,
chemo.
she did.
And but the stem cell work in what capacity?
It did. However, there is no cure or remission for multiple myeloma. It's just
Right.
based. Some people use that word, but it's not. It's not real. It's more.
Not real.
It's maintenance because I still have to go for all my treatments, and now they've added some more treatments for bone density. They give me a medication called Zometa.
How does that make you feel? It makes me sick.
It makes me feel like somebody took a baseball bat and hit me all through my body with it. My legs, my arms, everything feels. It feels. When you take a chicken bone and you snap it.
Yeah.
That's what my bones feel like.
I sometimes get because my cancer is in my spine is centered between my shoulders, where most of it is. It sometimes feels like somebody is ripping those muscles from the bone. It feels like that's what it feels like. It's like tearing something off of the bone,
Yes.
and it's not fun.
No. So let me just look at chat a little bit.
Okay.
We probably have to scroll up because I saw a lot of people who came in.
Yes.
Jackie Crystal Moon, special shout out because I am wearing green in honor of all my Irish friends and Irish history.
And that's beautiful. I have some green, but not a lot. But I wanted to as well acknowledge our Irish brothers and sisters.
And we see Cosmic Orphan.
Yeah.
Deb, do you follow Cosmic Orphan?
I don't, but I should.
You should. He literally does a new tarot deck flip through. I think he does 2 or 3 a week. I don't know where he stores them all. So he finds the most unique tarot decks I've ever seen. So he's a very good one to follow. And then let's see, who's Patty Day?
Joyful Journey.
Joyful Journey. How are you, my dear? And then
more intuitive me.
Yes, Elizabeth. So, okay, do you follow Elizabeth?
I don't.
Okay, you need to add her.
I need to add her.
Yes. So last night, Ange, Roots and Waves, and Elizabeth, the intuitive me, had a beautiful, beautiful life. And they do this every month during the full moon. And Elizabeth has a fire pit. And they bang a drum. And then if you have an intention that you want to release, they will write it on a piece of paper and they throw it into the fire pit.
Yeah.
It is what? Oh my God. You have to add them and then go back and watch last night's ritual. Beautiful, beautiful. Highly recommend it.
I will
Yes,
do that.
yes.
You may have to remind me.
If you do you follow Moon Scarab? That's not a very good channel.
I've heard that.
Yeah, it's really hard. You should actually unfriend
I
him.
do follow Moonscape.
Yes, he has a new haircut. He thinks he's really cute about it, but no, he's not.
I see Marjorie McConnell, and I believe Cardamancy Mesquite is also in the chat.
Oh wow, everybody's coming out. Everybody's coming out to join the fun. So one of the Sherry from the swamp. Hi, my dear.
Is Sherry? I haven't gotten. Yeah, there she is. Hi, Sherry.
And then the biggest whore in the South, Lexi, sexy Lexi. Okay, she's another soul sister. Her and I used to work the polls together.
Oh my goodness.
Do you follow her?
The polls, not the polls.
The polls, not the hoes. Do you follow Lexi? She's a doll. You would love her. Great sense of humor.
Since I have been sick, I have not branched out. I've been so narrow in trying to get things settled so that I don't have anything else I need to do. There will be no surprises, that I have not looked elsewhere.
Yes.
So I am at that point now where I'm ready to look around and see what's going on around me. Jay Reels has joined us.
Hi, Jay. But Lexi, so one of the things that happens with chemo is we get what's called chemo brain.
Yes, we do.
And where sometimes in mid-sentence, we just forget what we were talking about or have like those. And everybody, I get a little insulted when people say, oh, yeah, well, we all, forget things.
Different when the drug has taken your words.
Yes.
And sometimes it's hard to just get out the thought. We can't find the words sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
We can't remember the names sometimes.
Yes. So if you see me here in mid-sentence, kind of just going, blame the chemo.
I did that recently, and I just put a new video up on Friday, and I when I watched it back, I noticed I was having a little bit of trouble. And sometimes I censor myself when I'm channeling. I don't swear, and sometimes the swear word seems appropriate, and I'll just stop and not be able to find a word that works better than the swear word.
Yes. And then, right. But one thing I want everybody to know, though, is if you go to Bobby's channel and he gets like, he doesn't have chemo brain. He has cannabis brain.
Yeah, that's different. That is different.
It's different. It's cannabis brain. Okay? Bobby, we love you, dear. So I want to show somebody. For those of you who signed on late, today I am very excited. Not only am I excited that I got this beautiful dress in time for spring and St. Patrick's, but I was telling Deb I had to start wearing glasses because I couldn't do my eye makeup because the chemo and everything had a negative interaction, and all my eyes had gotten infected. So whenever you would see me come on, I had to put on glasses to cover my other glasses. But I've gotten a little better. I'm really excited about this. where now I can put my contacts on and look, I can now wear fake glasses, and
Yeah.
my husband was
And
able
have your eyelashes. Miss
my
Terry has
eyelashes.
eyelashes. Yes.
So now I feel like the gorgeous self that I am.
She is absolutely gorgeous.
You. But these glasses are kind of cute. They're very Jackie O.
They really set off the outfit.
They do, right?
They do.
And I just wanted y'all to know. So what are people
Progress
writing?
is progress. We celebrate all of our little victories, however small they may seem. To us, they're huge. So we
Mhm.
celebrate everything.
We do every little milestone. Uh, and for those of you, if you go back on my channel page, I, I had been off doing lives for a long time, and then the very first comeback live that I did was a gratitude live.
I still haven't. Well, I may have done one.
Yeah,
I
and
need
my
to.
makeup was so busted, Deb. Oh my God, my makeup
I
was so
thought
busted.
I remember you doing that live. I remember it, and you just came on, and it was such a brave video.
But I just wanted to thank, because I know, and you and I've spoken, we couldn't be where we are today and be on this journey of growth and health without all of you, our Tara community. All
We
of you,
exactly.
go ahead, say it, Deb. Deb, say what you were saying.
I don't know what was I saying.
I don't know. But okay, so let's just say, all right, I love his name. Bobby, I just love your name. Wild Raven Tara. I just love it. Uh,
Tina
Fatima.
Vieira has joined us.
So I've known Fatima, oh my God, since I first came onto YouTube. Um, I don't remember. We met from someone else's channel, and I've just been a fan of her ever since.
Hmm.
For those of you who don't follow her channel, her and her family just make the cutest family videos, and I just love them. And she shares her life with us and her community. She's another Canadian cousin. I think we have so many Canadian cousins in our YouTube community.
And uh, all I know to do about the Canadian cousins is tell you, I'm so sorry. I'm so
There you go.
sorry.
I know. Well, Ange actually said that I could move up there and live in her house. So
I at this point, I don't know how many Americans they would allow in, but and I don't know if I have anything that I can offer that would be an asset to their country. But I would certainly move there in a heartbeat if I could.
Maruta, you are so right. It was TO's Terra Oracle's channel, and then Dr. Mystical, who I also love, who, by the way, just so you know, I don't know if you know this, TO was diagnosed with cancer, and then Dr. Mystical was also diagnosed with cancer. And Dr. Mystical and I still touch base every once in a while, and he is doing much better. I don't know about TO, though. But it's sad how all these different people.
Monkey wanted to be
Oh my God,
to
he's so
say
cute.
hi.
Hi, monkey baby. Oh, he's so cute. He is so cute. Ramon, you are so right. Fatima's husband is a talented musician. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Spacer Rising said, yes, would you please annex the U.S.? Yes, please. Oh, that would be amazing.
Yes, it
Mhm.
would. I don't know how they're going to make Texas a province, but I would go for that.
Yes, you're gonna be Mexican, which is wonderful because I
Well,
love.
that may be That may be the thing. I'm closer to Mexico.
I love the new Mexican president. She's a
She
spitfire.
is a firecracker, and I like her too.
Hmm. Oh, Mousy, I am so sorry. Mousy's mother passed, and sister, from pancreas cancer.
You know.
God. My first question was, is it genetic? And they said no. For some reason, I don't really believe them. I agree. I agree. You know what's interesting is when they told me I had cancer, I got mad. I got mad because it was a blood cancer. I said, it would have made sense if it was lung cancer because I smoked all those years. And then I blamed no one but myself. But my lungs were clean and pink and healthy. And I said, so why? Where does this blood cancer come from? And they really don't know. They really
No, they
don't know where
don't know. Same with my cancer. It does not run in my family, and they have found no connection between what the cancers in my family and what I have.
Yeah, it's so random. So that's kind of why I got mad, you know? Um, and I was like, oh, Jesus. So before the show, I told Heather that I have found a spread called the Healing Trauma. I'm going to show you all. And I'm going to put it in my community page, by the way.
Yes, this is an excellent spread.
It's a beautiful spread to use
The
with
prompts are so intuitive.
yes. But we're not going to pull cards from it. We're actually just going to use the 9 questions, kind of as a little interview. So I hope you all like it, and I hope you end up doing these spreads or just use them for your own journaling and meditation. And feel free to put your own answers in the chat.
Yes.
Okay, how has this trauma impacted your life?
It's impacted every part of my life. I used to be independent. I don't drive anymore. I gave my car away to a young single mother who needed transportation. I don't even think about wanting to work because I can't. I have trouble just going in my kitchen and doing dishes. So I my life is I get up on days I have appointments. I get ready for those, and my hospital arranges for Ubers to pick me up, and an Uber comes and picks me up and takes me. It's almost an hour drive from my home to the hospital, and the Uber picks me up and takes me to and from those appointments. Sometimes those appointments last all day. And then the days I don't have appointments, then I'm sick a lot because the medication or the treatment that I just had at the appointment I went to yesterday, it makes me very sick. So I'm I'm basically spending my day trying not to be sick or taking naps. I try to plan sometimes when I can be online and have fun doing fun things. I have a good friend that sometimes we go and have lunch someplace, or we'll sit and play cards. We call it playing cards. We do throw tarot cards and oracle cards. I can't walk really. I'm in the process of saving for a new scooter so that I can go around a little more easily, and it's going to be rated to travel, so I'll be able to take it on train rides and on the plane and on cruise ships. I'm never thought about having a bucket list. And now I have a bucket list of things that I want to do. Um, it made me get my affairs in order.
There you go.
You
Mm-hmm.
know, it affected every part of my life. There's nothing, there's not a minute of the day that's not affected by the trauma.
Mm-hmm.
How has the trauma affected your life?
I think the biggest part of this trauma is the lack of energy. I just can't, you know, I wish I could stay up later at night, but I can't. I could sleep all day and still be tired at night.
Yes.
Ramon makes fun of me. Even though the other day, God bless his soul, he started his live early just because he knew I couldn't be able to stay up too late. So I was able to watch the whole thing. So thank you, Ramon. I appreciated that. But yes, and I can't come on. I don't, as many of you see, I don't do as many lives just because it takes a lot of energy to put all this on. And sometimes I just don't have it. Wow. So let's see here. Anybody heard anything?
Jackie Jacaranda, I did not notice you coming in. I'm sorry I didn't. And it's not Lola, it's Monkey.
Oh,
Monkey's barking.
I love Jackie. Jackie's another person I've known since the very beginning. Mm-hmm. What emotions do I carry because of this trauma? Interesting question.
What? Say it again.
What emotions do we carry because of this trauma?
I don't. My emotions are mostly in check. I'm not. I don't dwell on too many things, so I try to be as happy as possible. I try to make myself as happy as possible. I want to do things that are going to be uplifting. I don't have time for the tears.
Right. Yeah. I'll be honest. For me, the biggest emotion is rage. Mm-hmm. But it's not about the disease. It's having to deal with all the systems that we now have to deal with. Doctors and medical personnel that gaslight us and dismiss us. The cost of our treatment, taking Ubers because we can't take public transportations because our immune systems are so weak. Yes. Taking days off from work and not being paid for it. I mean, it's just yesterday I went to Social Security and my main office was closed because I'm trying to fix my Medicare before they take it away. So they had a sign, go to this other address. So now I had to take an Uber to that other address. So now now that's a total of $40, right? When I get there, I waited 2 hours to be seen. And then the woman says, "Oh no, we can't service you here. Why are you here?" And I said, "Because the sign said to come here." And she said, "No, we told them to take down that sign. You now have to go to this other address." And I looked and I said, "No, that's too far away. That was going to be like a $30 Uber ride." I said, "I'm here. Just fix it." No. Deb, excuse me. I know I'm a gorgeous woman, but yesterday I was a man, and literally, have you ever seen a grown man cry?
I have.
Cried right there at the Social Security office.
But not over that. That's outrageous for one thing.
And she was like, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" I said, "No, I'm not okay. I have cancer. I'm in treatment. I went from one office to this one. Now you're sending me somewhere else. It's costing me a fortune. It almost cost me almost $100 in car fare yesterday to just deal with this. I don't have that kind of money. Who has $100?
Lying around.
Yes, that's almost a cable bill." And she took pity and she did her little keyboard thing. And she's like, "Okay, call tomorrow, see if this went through." And I said, "They're open on Saturdays." And she says, "Oh, no, no, on Monday." I was like, "Oh, okay." Um, so I'm hoping, but this is the rage. The rage just gets to us where we rather cry than throw things around and break
Yeah.
windows, you know? That anger turns into tears for many of us.
I
Yeah.
haven't, because I'm not old enough to have Medicare, I haven't had to deal with that.
Mhm.
My hospital is a county hospital, and my insurance goes through them, and they pay for everything. I'm not out of pocket for anything,
Oh, good.
but I have to do everything there. I have
Yes.
to, but they pay for my Ubers to and from there. So I have not had to deal with that.
Wow.
Um, I was when I went to do my Social Security, I wouldn't have gotten very much on my own disability, and they said, "Look, you're eligible for your ex-husband's survivor benefits."
Oh, good, good.
And that would be twice as much money as you would get on your disability. So they put that through. And the thing about the survivor benefits is I didn't have to qualify for anything. I just
Mm,
had to come up with the paperwork.
okay.
So I just needed the marriage certificate, the death certificate, the divorce papers. Oh, no, I didn't need the death certificate, just the divorce papers. They already had the death certificate because he was already had already passed a number of years ago. But
Yeah.
so I didn't, all I had to do was come up with the right paperwork. And I had the divorce decree, but I didn't have the marriage certificate. So I luckily was married in the same county I live in. All I had to do was order it and go and pick it up downtown. And my friend took me to get it, and then she took me to the Social Security office where I was able to turn it in.
Hmm. Hmm.
So I didn't have to go through the thing of talking to the judge and all of that stuff. I didn't have to. I will, once I'm old enough and the survivor benefits run out, then
Hmm.
it will just switch. I'll just switch to my own Social Security, and I'll start getting. I'm supposed to start getting Medicare as soon as I'm old enough, but I don't know what they're doing with it, the way they're playing with it. So who
Right.
knows if that'll happen or not. But for now, my hospital is paying for everything. And if they weren't paying for everything, I would not have it. I would not be in treatment. I could not afford it.
Yeah.
It's so expensive.
Yeah. So here's what a lot of people in the States, and Jackie, and you are so right. The healthcare system in the United States is completely broken. It's
It is.
horrible. Um, you know, but what a lot of people do not know. So I had qualified because of the cancer, and you qualify as well for Social Security. So they did give me the financial benefit for a while.
Mhm.
Just because you get Social Security does not mean you get Medicare right away. You have
Right.
to wait 2 years.
You have to. Well, and I'm not old enough yet. It'll be
It
2
doesn't matter
years.
by age. You can go because of your diagnosis. You can get Medicare.
It'll be 2 years though.
But I was like, keep the money, give me the insurance. So I had to go back to work just to get insurance. And, So now when they turned around, they said, "Hey, you finally qualify." I was like, "Okay." So I looked into it, and if you are, just so everybody knows, if you have a job and you work and your company has more than 20 employees and they provide you with insurance, you can just accept the Part A. Because if you take the Part B, you have to pay a premium. The
Mm-hmm.
premium that they wanted to charge me was $180 a month.
Mm-hmm.
So I looked into it, and they say you can defer Part B to a later date since you have company insurance, without penalty. And I did that, but I returned the paperwork, but I don't know what's happening on their end. Maybe it's all these cuts that Elon is doing and Trump is doing. They're firing all these people that actually used to process the paperwork.
The people, yeah, the people that know how to do the work, they're firing them. And they were already behind. So,
Yes. But I couldn't afford to pay an extra $180 a month for something I wasn't needing. So I was like, no, I need to go fix this. Hi, Celine. Essence from the Moon is on with us. Excellent. Subscribe to her channel as well.
and
All right.
Tapestry of the Unseen.
Let's see here. How does trauma affect your relationships with others?
You find out who your friends are.
There you go.
There are people who don't deal with your trauma very
Mm-mm-mm.
well, and they will stop. I have not I have not seen any of my family members, with the exception of my son and
Mhm.
my ex-sister-in-law, since my diagnosis. And I've spoken to my brother a handful of times, maybe 2 or 3 times. And the others of my family have, I occasionally will see them online,
Yes.
but very occasionally, no, hardly ever. So it scared away a lot of people.
Yes. Yes. Initially, I had so many people, oh, I want to come visit you. I want to come visit you. And it's like, why? You never used to visit me before. And I know it was so that they can bring me a little flower plant, take a photo of with me, and put it on their Facebook. Like, oh, look at the gesture. And I know that because that's what they did to my friend who was dying of ALS. They all
Yeah.
went to visit him for photo ops, and so I was like, why? You never saw me before. Why am I going to meet with you now?
You don't need photo ops.
Oh no! So you really find out who's there for you,
Yes.
who really cares. I had a dear friend who sent me a 3-month supply of those pre-made food things
Hmm.
that we can cook those when Hector was too tired from taking care of me. Another friend sent me Uber. I had one girlfriend because I was joking and I said, you really want to do something for me? I had put this on my other Facebook page. I said, come and clean my bathroom. And one of my girlfriends came with a mop and a bucket. She rang the doorbell. She says, I'm here to clean your bathroom. That was a friend. That was a friend.
Yes, that's a friend. Yeah, people that you never thought would be there for you are there for you.
Yes.
And people that you thought were hands down going to be with you
Beautiful.
here. And like my partner, who I have been with for more than 20 years,
Sweet.
had could have left me high and dry, but he didn't. He stayed because we're not married. But he
Yes.
stayed with me. He takes care of me. He takes me wherever I need to go. If I want to do something, he tries to figure out a way for that to happen. He's been there for me the whole time, and
Yeah.
I'm very grateful and happy that he made that decision. So,
Yeah. I mean, all the women in my cancer support group are single because
Mhm.
once they got diagnosed, their spouses got up and left.
Got up and left.
I'm very grateful that the producer, my husband of 26 years, he's with me, and he's gone to every one of my
Mhm.
appointments. And when I was in the hospital for a month, and he wasn't allowed in the room because I was quarantined, he would come and he would sit in the hallway and talk to me from the hallway for about 15, 20 minutes. And then he would say, okay, I'm going to go home. And he would do this every day that I was in the hospital. He used to bring me Bustelo coffee because he knew I couldn't stand hospital coffee.
It's
So
all
he would bring me, yes, I love my morning coffees. He used to come all the way just to bring me my coffee every day. Beautiful
that's
man.
yes. And so I feel very grateful because, like you said, any trauma
Mm-hmm.
will tend to scare off a spouse. And I am truly grateful.
Here's a good question. How does this trauma affect the way we see ourselves?
Hmm,
Hmm,
that is
interesting.
a good question.
It is. Uh, while you are thinking about that, let me just, for those of you who joined us late, what Deb and I are doing is we found this beautiful healing trauma spread.
Hmm.
But instead of pulling cards, we are just asking
In
questions.
the discussion.
But I'm going to put the spread in my community page because it's a wonderful
It's
uh,
an
activity, right?
a
For
positive.
journaling, self-reflection, or to do your own spread.
Yeah,
So if you're here, this is what we're doing, okay?
yeah.
So tell
Um,
me,
what was the question again?
uh, what number am I on? Oh, there it is. There it is. What do I? Oh, wait, no, no. How does this trauma affect the way we see ourselves?
Ah, well, I had to step into my power
Mm,
and be um, I I don't know how to explain it. I had to look at myself and say, is this the person I want to be? And if it's not, then how do I change it? How do I work through what I need to work through to get to be the person I want to be? So there are things I don't have time for.
yes.
I just don't have time for it, literally. And
Mm,
um, if it makes me happy, then I make time for it.
yes.
I it has changed the way I see myself as the person that I need to take care of. I'm not taking care of anybody else anymore. I did that for a
Yes.
long time. Now it's my turn. I'm taking care of myself. And that's how it changed how I see myself. It
Mhm.
changed me from being the passive caregiver to the one who is in need of the care and going to get the care. I'm getting the care, period.
Recently, I saw a sign. It was actually posted on someone's computer, and I loved it. It said, "Self care is not vanity; it's sanity."
It is.
I love it. I love it. It's so real. You know? Um, I see myself. I see myself. Huh. I think I have to agree with you, Deb.
Mhm.
I used to really, really do so much for others that I would neglect myself.
Yes.
I was the one who would volunteer to do everything,
Mhm.
and give it my 200%, and
Yeah.
everybody else put their feet up. And then they would get the applause and recognition, and I would just get more work to do.
And you did the work. Yes.
Yeah, not that I would do things just for recognition, but it helps, hey. But you're right, self care, a lot more self care. Uh, this is something that I try to do from time to time. When at work, when I get a email from someone, or when I get a text on social media from someone, what I try to do once in a while is, instead of writing back or texting back, I try to do a video chat so I can have this one-on-one interaction with them
Yeah.
besides just
That's,
numbers.
we don't do that enough anymore.
No, so I've really, really been trying to do. When I get off the bus to walk home, I'll just randomly dial someone and just to chit chat for
Just chat.
15 minutes on my walk. Just how was your day? How was your week?
Yes.
So I've been trying to do that. This actually, I'm thinking of last night, because this was very a part of last night's ritual with Elizabeth and Ange. What do you need to do to release this trauma?
Good question. Um, Part of what I need to do, um, the things that help me release my trauma, is rituals.
Mm,
So I have to identify the trauma. If you
mm,
don't know what it is, you can't release it.
that's
So uh, I will try to, if I am having some kind of pain, um, some kind of moral or emotional or that kind of pain that's not physical, I will first try to identify it and then work through it and release it. And that may involve a ritual, and it may involve doing something like, if it's a person, writing a letter and um, to that person,
mm,
whether that person ever gets it, or if they're deceased and they're not going to get it, or for whatever. I'm not writing the letter for them, I'm writing it for me.
for you. For
And
you.
so I will release that trauma that way. Sometimes I'll burn it, sometimes I'll bury it. It depends on it depends. So that's something I do to release the trauma, and it has to do with working through it, physically working through it.
Mm,
Uh, finding a way to release it. You can say in your head, "I release you," you know,
right.
go into the universe or go back to the earth, or however you're doing that. But just saying it sometimes isn't enough.
Very true. Very true. It's the intention has to be
Yes,
authentic.
the intention is everything.
Dear chatters, I have a question. I just realized that my external microphone was never turned on. How was the sound?
I can hear you just fine.
Okay, because I was like, oh no, I'm going to watch the playback, and nobody could hear a word I said. This,
They've been talking in chat like they can hear.
I yes, okay. I'm glad. All right, good. I hope the quality's well. They say thank you. Okay, they said the sound was fine. Thank you.
Thank you.
I don't know what's wrong with me lately. I'm forgetting to
Brain.
do little things. Um,
Brain.
and please participate. If you could put your own answers to these questions in the chat. So
Yeah.
if you have ideas or you do something special to release the trauma, write it in. Write it in chat. Let's feel free to participate.
You can send it back to where it came from. That's what I usually like to do, is to send it back to where it came from. And I'm not talking about like childhood trauma or
Mhm,
those kinds of deep trauma that we may have suffered in the past. I'm talking about the trauma from the disease. Um,
mhm.
Even that you can send back because it came from somewhere. You can
Yeah.
send it back to the place that it came from.
Oh my
You don't
God.
necessarily have to know where it came from exactly to send it back.
I totally agree with you. I totally agree with you. Yes, send it back, release it. I do visualizations
That's good. Yes.
where I literally can feel it. I could feel it. I visualize the bad cancer cells in my blood and in my bone marrow shrinking, shrinking
Yeah.
because my cancer grows in the bone marrow, so it's all over my body, and it crowds out the red blood cells and it affects the healthy white blood cells. So I feel like it's shrinking and there's more room for healthy cells to grow and glow. So yes, visualization really helps. Bobby says he sings karaoke.
Oh,
uh, Maruta had wrote sound waves. Yes. When you take I don't know what it's called, and you crystal bowls, the bowls. Yes.
crystal balls.
There was a young lady who used to have a channel. I haven't seen her in a long time. Who used to do the bowls.
Hmm.
And when my poor baby dog, who was the light of my life, when she was sick and she was going through a transition, I would put her channel on and play her content because it would soothe her from her pain. It
Isn't
was
that something? Yes, sound can really be helpful.
yes.
I want
Jane, if you're there, you remember her. She was a dear friend of yours as well. If you remember her name, write it in the chat, Jane. She used to do the
wanted to
symbols.
mention too, when you were talking about visualization, I have always done this since I was a little kid. I will visualize that I have an army
Mhm.
of little beings that go through my body and attack whatever is not right about, you know, um, like if I had a broken bone or something, I would have them rebuilding the bone. So they're like a little Army Corps of Engineers.
Yes.
And so you can, whatever means of visualization, if you do visualizations, you can, of ways for your body to heal itself. Be creative with it, make it something you'll remember and continue to do.
Yeah. So Sherry wrote she would give her mother pedicures. That's yes, beautiful. Alexis, is it Lexi? Okay, she mom her baths and pedicures. Very beautiful. Jane, yes, Silver Star Priestess. That was her name.
Silver Star Priestess.
Yes, I don't know if I gotta see if
Heather, yes.
but Silver Star Priestess, she would do those sound things. Lovely, 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 and they work. And I know Jane also, she didn't post it, but Jane often sends Reiki energy towards me. Am I saying that right? Do you say Reiki or is it uh,
Reiki, or
Reiki? Reiki. She sends that to me all the time to help me with my healing. So thank you, Jane. I always like to thank you for doing that on a regular.
Mama was talking about um, uh, her Miley being a healer, talking about Monkey. Monkey is a healer. And my cat is a healer too. I got really lucky getting two animals that are healers. to be my pets. So.
Yes. Yes. Um, there's days and nights when I'm in so much pain I can't sleep in my bed. And the dogs come and they lay right next to me on the
They
sofa. They
know.
won't leave
They
me.
know.
They,
Hmm.
animals, oh, very intuitive. Um,
Madame Maru has said to call her, and she will ring the bells.
oh, I will. I will. And yes, I want to hear your bells. Ring my bell. I can't sing. If it was Heather, she would be singing with me.
The
Um,
70s, yes.
oh my God, the
You ring
seven
my bell, yes.
with the roller skating rings. Girl, you taking me back.
Yeah.
Um,
So
let's see here. Uh, how can I begin to move past this experience?
well, I think we talked about releasing, and that is one way. Now we can't totally move past it. You and I are both in. I'm not in maintenance at the moment, but I will be at some point. Uh, you let what you can go,
Mm-hmm,
and you take care of the rest. Um,
mm-hmm,
I think moving past, you start to do things that are you. You start to bring the old you back and
yes.
start to be who you were before. Now, you're never going to be exactly the same person,
No.
but you can, the things that gave you joy before,
Yes.
you can start to bring those back.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know? What can huh, I don't know. I don't know what I can do, like you said, because it is a part of us. For me, people. I really hate this when people say they Google my diagnosis and then they come back and they're like, "Oh, but I just saw with multiple myeloma, you can live up to 20 years." And I was like, "Bitch, do you know what it's like for me to live with this disease every day? Do you think just because, yeah, I might be alive for 20 years, who wants to be alive with all this pain and
Yes.
gastro issues and brain issues? Like,
Yeah.
it's very dismissive when somebody says that.
There's so much that you have to live with
Yes.
when you're living with cancer. You have to live with pain, you have to live with feeling sick, you
Yeah.
have to live with uncertainty. There's just lots of stuff that you have to
Mhm.
rearrange your life around.
Absolutely. Hi, Rain, Spiritual Rain. Do you follow Spiritual Rain on her channel?
I believe I do.
Oh my God. I want to move in with her. She bakes breads. She's a fantastic cook. Yeah. She does. Oh my God. I mean, I just want to live in her house and gain 500 pounds eating all her delicious food. And she has a cam for all her dogs. So I sit there and I just watch her dog sleeping. It's very relaxing, to sit there and just watch her dog sleep. I'm like, oh, it's
That's
so,
something I've discovered, that I enjoy watching things I never thought. I've been watching people clean their clean. I found an autistic man that cleans houses, extreme hoarder houses, for free because
wow.
that's what he does for fun. And so he puts out these sped up videos of him going through and cleaning the entire house. And it's
I have,
so I watch things like that. I'm watching a man in Scotland trim cows' feet. It's funny that you can
I,
find
I've
people
seen that.
living
I've
their
seen
life,
that. Yes, yes.
find people living their life, and it's
Mm-hmm.
enjoyable to watch them live their life,
Mm-hmm.
since I'm not.
And Ange, you are so right. Sometimes people just aren't sensitive, and
They are.
all we really need them is to hold that space for us to just talk. One of a quote that I've lived my entire life by, and basically created my career around and taught um, my interns, is that during a crisis or a traumatic event, people, it's like a hurricane,
Mm-hmm.
right? People don't want the weather report. They
Mm.
just need a palm tree to hold on to.
Right. Exactly.
You
So,
know?
and you find out then it either brings out the best in people or the worst in people. And so you don't know what that's going to be until it happens.
Hmm. Hmm. Okay. I need to pause for a minute. Everybody look at chat. My dear, 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 dearest sister, Harmonica Sunbeam, just logged in to give us a quick hello. Hopefully, she could stay. She's traveling. For those of you who do not know, I always shout her out. She's the one that gave me that beautiful purple high wig. Miss Harmonica Sunbeam is a renowned national and international drag queen. She also does, and I think she might be one of the very first drag queens who did what is that storybook hour? Drag
Oh,
storybook hour
yes.
children in the libraries? Yes. So I always have to shout her out because she's a phenomenal woman, and such an amazing talent. Comedian, um, singer. She has songs. So if anybody, I can later try to put in her link in my comment section because you should all subscribe. But God bless her soul. She
Yeah.
traveled all the way from New Jersey. I get a ring on my door. There she is, holding this little bag, and she goes, "Here you go. I have someone waiting for me downstairs to go to Golden Corral." I was like, she traveled all the way from Jersey just to give me this beautiful, gorgeous wig, which fits me so well. So I had to give her major roots. Ange, thank you. Ange found her channel and posted it. Thank
Excellent.
you, Ange. But she is a doll, doll, doll. God bless her soul. So
Thank you for joining us.
yes, she always tries when she sees me on to just even if she comes in for 2 minutes to say hi. I love her. She's such a great sister. Wait, Harmonica, I don't know if you're still on. I just wanted to show you my new tits.
They're very natural
Aren't they
and
very beautiful?
and
Yes.
very perky.
And very perky. Yes. You know? Um, okay, it's not on here, but I wanna ask you, since you've been sick,
Hmm.
what has been, I'm sorry, my kid piece is rolling up.
Yes, yes.
What has become one of your pet peeves?
Um, oh, good question. Um, one of my pet peeves now, and this is going to sound like I'm ungrateful, but I'm not, is
Hmm.
when I'm coming home from a long day of, uh, you know, infusions or testing or whatever from the hospital, and they know that they just picked me up from the hospital, is my Uber driver insisting on telling me everything that they think I should know about how to cure my cancer.
My God.
And I am exhausted and not in the mood. I want to be quiet and
Hmm.
kind of recover from what I've just experienced. And um, I would prefer to be just quiet on my ride home from the hospital.
Hmm.
I don't want to be ungrateful about it, and I know that it's coming from their heart, but it really is not
Mhm.
necessary.
Yes. I actually had a family member when I got diagnosed, and not the smartest family member, and couldn't even pass ninth grade science.
Mhm.
His first question to my husband was, "Well, what kind of medication are they giving him?" And I was like you would know, like you would know, like you know. I mean, you're right. You're right. One of my pet peeves, which I now have an answer for, is when people say to me, "Oh, but you look so good."
Mm,
And now I just started answering people, and I just say to them, "That's because I'm fucking sick. I'm not fucking ugly." Because really, um, and they all get offended, like, "Oh, you look so good."
I think that's funny.
I'm Miss Tara D. I always looked good. You know? Come on now.
You do always look good.
Thank you, my dear. On my worst day, I looked good. And if I don't, then that means I need to get better makeup. But
Yeah, there you go. A bigger
that,
paintbrush.
yeah, because so many of us have invisible illnesses. So many of us have invisible illnesses, and
Yes.
how this shell, right? I think someone, I can't remember who it was, they said, "Oh, it's a, what do they call it? A meat bag? This meat bag, they
Uh,
called it?
yeah,
So,
meat suit.
a what? A meat suit?
Meat suit.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Well, while the exterior might look a certain way, our interiors feel terrible.
Yes.
And
Yes. So, yeah, I might be smiling on the outside and need to find a barf bag quick.
mhm.
You just you can't see that sometimes. Now, sometimes you can see it because I have been known to turn green, but some, but a lot of times you can't, and it'll come on so quickly. You know,
Elizabeth said yes, the meat suit. Thank you, Elizabeth. Yes. I don't remember who said it. I just heard this the other day. Somebody used that term, and I don't remember who. If someone here has said it, please take credit for it.
so Thomas Tarot Your Way has joined us.
Oh, wait, he said it's moving day?
It's moving day.
Thomas, did you finally get a new apartment? Oh my God, blessings and light. For those of you who do not know, Thomas's apartment and Hershey's apartment, they lived together for a while, were hit by, were flooded. I don't think it was, I think it was a water break. I don't think it was a storm. It
Not the
was
hurricane.
flooded, and they lost so much of their property. And then the mold set in.
Yes.
And Hershey and Thomas both have health issues, and we all know how dangerous mold
Yeah.
is,
That
especially
is
you
dangerous.
have health issues. And they couldn't reach the landowners, and it was just horrible. So, oh, thank God, Thomas, that
So,
you finally
congratulations.
able.
So,
Oh, prayers have been answered. Yes. Um, Let me see what else we got. Okay. Who will I be? This is the last question. Who will I become when I let go of my trauma? That's a beautiful question. Who will you become when you finally let go?
the queen.
Yes, that's totally wait. There we go.
I will
We have
become
to get you a fan.
I will become the best version of me that I can be.
And what would that look like, my dear friend?
It would, well, after I have solved all my issues, like with my mobility issues and that sort of thing,
Mhm.
I will be able to walk, and, um, walk from here to the living room without assistance or the aid of a walker. Or now I should be grateful because I was in a wheelchair, so I'm not in a wheelchair. But it's, you know, I I will look more like a normal person. Like, what is that? What's a normal person? But like a healthy human being.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
I don't always look very healthy.
Yeah. Yeah.
A healthy, well-adjusted human being that is in control of what I can be in control of in my life.
Yes. So, who will I become? I don't know who I will become. I can tell you who I've been become. Not will, but am. So I used to be a very alpha personality,
Mhm.
120%. I mean, I used to do everything. Do,
Yes.
and part of going through this trauma was learning to accept my new identity.
Yes.
I had to be okay with letting go of my past life, you know? Uh, Recently on one of the channels, we were talking about past lives. And it's almost like I had a past life
Mhm.
before diagnosis
Yes.
of what I could do, how I can do it, when I can do it,
Yes,
change
this is
who I can
all.
do it with.
Yes.
And I literally, since I've got diagnosed in October 23rd, 2022, time goes by quickly.
It does.
I've had to let go of that past life and literally come to terms with a new life.
Yes.
And, so I think I've become a different person. Um, I've often hear people say, well, ever since I got sick, I've just learned to be kind and I've become more spiritual. And I was like, bitch, you should have always been kind and spiritual. Why,
Yes.
why did
Well,
it take cancer to make you a better person? Just do better. Just do better. You don't need a disease to help you to do better.
be kind.
So I,
Spiritual Rain asked, "How long has my journey been?" My
mm,
diagnosis came in December 16th, 2023. But I was really sick for 2 months before that. I was getting sick for several months, but I was really sick in October, November of 2023, and I got my diagnosis in December.
mm. And Peace Mama wrote that she had a brain tumor and brain surgery. Oh my God, Peace Mama, I hope you are doing well today. I have one of my friends who, in my group, who also had a brain tumor and surgery. So I personally have seen how this impacts a person's overall daily
Right.
life. So I do hope you are doing better and have what you need to continue each day.
And
And I,
that's something that they have never talked to me about any surgery anywhere on my body. And the reason is, um, um, and I called the Cancer Society and asked them this question. With my type of cancer, because it's not curable and
Mhm.
the life expectancy is not terribly long, they just don't do surgery because they think of surgery as cure. And since there is no cure, they don't do the surgery. Now, I may be getting radiation on my back and on my head, but that's to come, and it's not a given. If they can get around doing it, they're not going to do radiation. So uh, I really don't want to have radiation, but if it would make me feel better, then I'm for that, you know.
Like I've had the radiation. It wasn't so bad for me. I mean, yes, it causes skin irritation, some burns. There's some minor. I mean, everybody's different, of course.
Right.
Everybody handles it different. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. Now, the stem cell transplant, oh my God. If I knew what it was going to be like, I'd have second thoughts about.
Was it really painful?
I, I know I've heard people who've had it twice. I don't think I could ever go through it again. I did it the first time for my husband because he asked me to. And I am actually doing treatment for my husband because I tell everybody when I got diagnosed, they're like, "Oh, do you have a bucket list?" I said, "No." I said, because I've traveled the world. The job that I have is the pinnacle in my career. I actually started my program 10 years ago. We're doing our 10-year anniversary. I said, I got to create something personal. I have the love of my life. I said, I feel extremely fulfilled.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing is, I'm not ready to leave my husband. I want to spend more time with him. That's my joy. That's my love,
Mm-hmm.
So, but and then I did come up with one bucket list item. I do want to go to Canada. I don't, Toronto, Montreal, Quebec. I don't know. It's a short train ride from New York.
Fun.
Yes. So I don't know what's happening with this government stuff, but I do want to go to Canada. Everybody who goes there says it's.
I want to travel a little bit. That's my main bucket list thing. I want to ride the train. Go to San Antonio on the train and do the river walk in my new.
Love it there. Yes, I've been there.
I want to take a cruise. I've never been on a ship, and I would like to do that.
Talk to Thomas. He has. Maybe you and him can go together. He went with Hershey. He knows all about cruises out of Texas. He's in Texas too.
Yes, he is.
Talk to him. You guys should arrange it. He's a cruiser, not cruising the good way.
I know what you mean.
Because when we're talking about Thomas, we have to be careful.
Yes, you do have to be careful.
Yeah, I did the river walk, and there's a place there where you can get margaritas that are literally this big.
Yeah, and that's another reason I want to get off of some of this medication. I can't drink alcohol.
I know. Yes, I feel I'm not. I was never a big drinker, but once in a while, I do like to. Social events, right? Mm-hmm.
I was looking at the list this morning at where I was. Well, it was at lunchtime. I went to the Texas Roadhouse today. I was looking at their mocktails list, and I'd rather have the real thing.
Yes. Oh my God, we had. Dad, you should see all the people. Now we have Vivian, and yes, Ange, I agree. We should all go to Rain's house when we go to Canada. She's inviting everybody to Rain's house. So we're going to go there. So, Deb, that was all of our questions. We've been on for an hour and 45 minutes.
I don't remember the question I was going to ask, but it had to do with this silly dog.
I love him. He's so cute.
He doesn't have any bones right now. He's just, he won't sit up.
So Thomas said, I have been known to cruise on a cruise.
I bet you have. Yes.
That gets a fan from Miss Parody. For those of you who have not seen it.
Yes. I love that fan.
I love it. I was so happy when this came in the mail. I was like, oh my God. It actually, because, you do these things and it was It was actually very cheap. It was only $12.
Oh, that's
Yeah, it's a big
very
fan
cheap.
because I like big things. Uh,
Yes.
you know, and it's personalized for $20. I was like, oh, it's gonna come in. It's gonna look like a piece of crap, but what the hell? Let's try it. I was really
And looks
impressed.
very nice. I like it.
Yes, I like big things. I will not lie. You know.
I thought of that when he said that.
Oh my God, this has been such a beautiful day.
It has, and such a lovely conversation. And sometimes, we don't talk about it very often, but
Mhm.
sometimes it's a good idea to try to put that energy out.
Yeah.
To let you know, if you don't see us, it's because we're tired, or we don't feel well. That it's an ongoing fight. That we are really warriors,
Yes.
continuing the fight, and just um, if you do see us, then we're giving you the best that we can give you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And the other thing too is, and before I forget, I have gratitude for the little things that
Yes.
you all do for me. Uh,
Yeah.
I've gone on people's channels and they're like, "Oh, Miss Tara D's here. I'm going to put her on the front of the reading list because I know she's tired and she needs to go back to
Yeah.
sleep." Just little things like that. Oh my God, they just touch my heart,
The
And
energy it takes to
yeah,
be online is
if you haven't seen where my heart is, it's underneath these big girls. That's where my heart is. But yes, you know, but little
at
things like
least they match. Mine don't match.
um, I got them on Amazon.
So maybe I
But,
should get some new ones.
right? But even like I said, Ramon the other night, he was like, "Oh, I started early because I know Miss Tarady goes to bed early, and I wanted her to see most of the show." And I don't know, even if he was just playing, joking with me, I just thought it was a very
Yeah.
sincere, loving comment. Because Ramon and I do joke with each other,
Yeah.
but he is a very caring person, and he is very caring of all people, and he is very sincere. So but different people, when you give me those little moments of kindness, they really, really mean a lot. Um, because most of my days are difficult,
Yes.
are challenging,
Yeah.
but I we do what we got to do.
We
Um,
do.
the other day, oh, can I tell y'all a story? Different topic, but I just remembered. Deb, can I? Do you mind if I go off topic?
Ooh, go.
No, every day I have my tarot cards in my backpack, and while I'm on the train, I'll pull out a card. That's my card for the day. So I think it was Tuesday. Yes, Tuesday. I pulled the Queen of Pentacles, and we all know what that means. It's such a beautiful card to get.
Yes.
And I was like, "Ooh, I'm doing a tour for potential funders on Wednesday. Maybe that's a very good sign."
Yes.
Wednesday, I pulled the King of Pentacles. And these cards are shuffled very well because you know how we all are during our free time. We're constantly
Yeah.
shuffling.
Shuffling.
I was like, oh my God. Well, it turned out, I don't know if y'all remember a while back, I spoke that I did a tour for people and I was hoping to get $10 million. Well, they thought it was too much of a reach. However, they were so impressed with my program that they came back for a second look.
Oh, good.
So I was like, oh my God. The Queen of Pentacles and then the King of Pentacles. It was a highly, highly successful meeting. So I'm really, really encouraged, hoping that even if it's not $10 million, it's something. It's something for the children of the Bronx.
Yes, it is.
Yes, and I just that came to mind because I was saying the whole day, whole Wednesday, Thursday, my neuropathy was so bad on my feet I could barely walk. But
I
like you,
understand. Yes.
we do what we have to do, right? We put the needs of others, especially the children, ahead of ours.
Yes.
And I did the tour and I did the thing and I kept my mouth smiling. And meanwhile, I was ready to collapse. So when I come home and I just veg out and chill out and I put on different channels and I see different people or I do the playbacks, it just means so much to me. And it puts a smile on my face.
Yeah.
And so you all know, you all help me get through the hard times.
Yes. Yes. And I also am very grateful for every little thing, every comment, everything.
Mhm.
I'm very grateful that they all make me happy and make my heart happy.
Yes. My God. So Deb,
Yes,
this was supposed to be an hour show.
I know. We went over by
Woo,
almost,
you and I can talk, girl. We can talk.
but I
Some
think that, and I'm really tired, but I'm also think that we talked about some important things.
yes, yes, and people. I mean, thank you to all chatterers who participate. We've had some authentic personal sharing from many of our friends in chat.
Yes,
I've been keeping one
I
eye on.
appreciate that. Yes,
You know, prayers to everyone who needs them, which is everyone. We all need prayers. Thank you so much for listening and just holding space. As Ange says, she
oh
holds.
look, you got a troll.
I'm so flattered.
Congratulations, you got a troll.
We were talking about that yesterday. I said, if I don't mind having a troll as long as he clicks the thumbs up. Then uh, who's on there?
I'm not a moderator on your.
No, but I'm sure
Oh,
Andrew, somebody, Jackie will.
somebody can grab the
Yeah,
troll, bop his ears or her ears or whatever.
somebody got him quickly. There, it's always a sign. It's always a sign of flattery when you get a troll, because it means that they liked your channel so much that they wanted to come in and
Yes,
listen to the chat.
and I haven't seen that particular troll for a while.
Yes.
So yeah. So
Well, I don't understand what he really said. A terror leader told my cousin to love himself. Oh, I get it now. And now he's banned from Burger King his whole life. I get it. Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you, Terror Destroyer. What a wonderful joke. Okay, it took me a minute to read it because I guess they're not as funny as I am, but I get it. And I appreciate it. It was actually a funny joke.
yes, Sherry, that's when you know you made it. That's when you know you made it. What they do is they put these comments on so they can they're trying to prevent other people from making comments.
Oh,
So
is
that
that?
you don't have you're not you you didn't slow down your comments. So
Mhm.
they're not hurting anybody
Yeah.
by making these silly things. So
Yeah, I don't understand the next joke though.
um
7 years ago, my parents were eaten
eaten
by.
by pygmy cannibals, and I have never forgotten it. I don't know what that means either.
Yeah, okay, that's not a funny
It
joke.
doesn't mean anything. They're just taking
Yeah,
up.
they had one good one. They had
Yeah,
one,
they're
but
just taking up space. So
yeah, I don't know. But they can't take too much space because I think our very own mods got them very quickly. So I want to thank the moderators. Thank you, Heather. Thank you,
Yes,
Jerry. Thank you,
moderators.
Ange. Thank you, Jackie. All the people who are moderating today. Uh, I really, really appreciate you all helping with this because it gave Deb and I time to do what we needed to do, but also,
Yes, and thank you for listening to us and
yes,
listening to us.
and what I was saying earlier was like, I love that Ange says, she says, holding space.
Hmm.
You all were holding space for us.
Yes,
There are stories. Uh,
yes.
I love that saying, and it was very, very beautiful. Thank you for that. All right, so I guess we're gonna go
Okay.
because we're both tired and we
Yes,
both need a
correct.
break. But I'm sure I will be seeing many of you later on tonight in your lives. And please, 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 if I have not personally greeted you or say hello, um, it is not because I didn't see you or that I'm snubbing you. It's just that there was so much going on. But I do love you all. Um, please subscribe to each other's channels. Subscribe to Deb. If you haven't subscribed to me, please do so and hit the like button. Leave comments after the show when they allow you to put comments. Leave it.
Yeah, do that. It
Yeah,
helps.
yeah. I mean, I'm never going to become monetized or make money off this, but it's flattering.
It does help the video get seen by other people.
Yes, yes. Um, oh, thank you so much. All right, so big kisses, hugs. I'm trying not to smear my lipstick because I'm gonna try to do a little recording after we're done. Um, one of the I'm thinking about recording a new spread. Um, Elizabeth and I we did a live and we were talking about self care and we were gonna do a spread, but we never did. But I'm gonna record a new spread because you all know I like spreads. This one is called Self Care Tarot Spread, and it's a 5 card placement dealing with self care, kind of like what we were talking
Yeah,
about today.
that's an excellent topic.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm going to record this today and hopefully upload it in the next couple of weeks. So yeah, I hope you all like it and I hope you all see it. And once again, thank you, thank you, thank you for today and
Much love.
much love. Bye bye. I'm I, I'm
Yep.
trying to I'm trying to find the button.
Hit the button twice.
Thank you, my dears. Love you all.